Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Yeah. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail. Good morning, good morning. It is your ever-loving Uncle Fish back again for the School of Fish Art Stream. This is the Thursday morning, usually Patreon only, but this time I decided to go public because I've been missing a few times here lately. It has been a hectic time here at Mr. Fish Comics because, like, you know me as the writer and creator of the mighty KAAW, the Cro-Magnon issue 1, but issue 2 has just gotten finished up. I just finished edits on it. I just placed the order for the special Patreon only copy. It's got little patron only there in the corner. It's got the unfinished artwork and everything. This is only for my Patreon backers that are getting this one. And I just placed the order and paid for the small print run of this one. And man, this issue is awesome. I'm super excited about it. It picks up right where the last one left off. Man, look at some of these epic battles and stuff going on in here. Man, Shane really put in a lot of hard work flatting all that for me. She did an amazing job. So issue 2 is done, ready to go. I've also just wrapped up work on first issue of a new anthology book that I'm going to be doing. That's called Fish Tales because I've really been wanting someplace. I've been wanting someplace that I can put all the short pieces of stuff that I've been wanting to do. What is up, Jay man? Good to see you, man. You don't usually get to make it in the mornings, man. Good to see you. I've been wanting someplace that I could put all the short pieces of stories and stuff that I've been working on, and Fishtails is going to be a place to do that. Like it lets me play with ideas and do things without having to commit to doing a whole series right away, and I can let it be more what the fans want. I can let it be like what people react to, what people like. What stories do they say they want to see more of? Thank you, man. I'm excited for it as well. I'm trying to see real quick if I can pull up the cover from here that I just did. Um, oh yeah, I did 2 new covers for it for the Kickstarter. Um, Let me share my screen here. All right, this is the first cover for Fishtails. This is one of the covers that's going to be on the Kickstarter, and it shows Alice and Big Ten from the Alice Lost in Wonderland series that's going to be in here. And in this story, Alice ends up trapped in this interdimensional rift called Wonderland or Neverland or Oz, depending on who you're talking to. And it's a place where all these different dimensions have crashed into each other, all these different timelines have crashed in. And so you've got aliens and beings from all kinds of different worlds, interdimensional ghosts, and all kinds of stuff going on. There's going to be time travel, there's going to be sci fi, there's going to be adventure, all kinds of stuff going on. And Alice is going to be the main character that we're following, and she's been lost in here for a long time. If you need to know how long she's been lost, this shirt fit her properly when she got here. So that's little running jokes that is going to be going on in this book. But now the next issue, now this isn't for the next cover, isn't for everybody, but this has got the cheesecake version of Alice going on. So like this is just for the people that are into those kind of covers. But I figured I'm not gonna leave them out. So there's a sexy cover too. Um, but today we are going to be working on coloring the Mighty Caw, the 80s variant cover that's going to be going up in the Kickstarter. And this is the only thing really that the Kickstarter is waiting on is I just need to finish a couple of covers. I'm also coloring and remastering T-Man and Hyperstrike. So that is one thing that I'm excited about. I'm in the process of coloring it right now. I relettered everything already. I'm in the process of coloring the pages right now, and I'm realizing what a bad job I did in the beginning of doing it in grayscale. And because I only had like 5 shades of gray that I was working with, it was kind of easy sometimes to miss little spots. And they didn't jump out as much in grayscale as they do when you suddenly start to color everything using those grayscales as flats to give me some place to jump off from. And I'm realizing all kinds of little bits that I missed here and there. So it's really showing what a poor job I did the first time. But when you're going from like 20% gray to 30% gray, those little gaps aren't that obvious. When you're going from like teal green to gold, those are very obvious little gaps. But anyway, I'm in the process of recoloring that. It's looking really cool. The relettering it took me a minute because, yeah, I've learned a lot about lettering since then. Um, so there's going to be the remaster T-Man and Hyperstrike. I'm going to be adding some artwork and stuff to it to stretch it to the ending that I really wanted it to have originally. But page count and time and everything, I had to make do with what I had. And so I'm going to be finishing that up during the Kickstarter, and I've got to get this 80s variant cover done so it'll be ready to go. So let's hop in and get started because I ain't got no time to waste. I need to get this Kickstarter going. All righty. I just got my flats in the other day, and I'm just now getting them laid in, and it looks really good. She did a really good job on this. And other than, like the ship from G Force is the wrong colors and the Rocketeer is the wrong colors, but like a whole lot of it, she got really close. Like Great Babe, I could let Great Babe go the way he is. Uh Voltron's pretty dang close. Ultraman's spot on. The Ninja Turtles look great. Like the Ghostbusters are pretty good. Like a few of them are off, but man, she did a good job. I'm guessing she doesn't know who Bill is, but I didn't send her references for everything either. There was too much stuff to try and dig up for reference. Alrighty, I have got my. I'm gonna put this on full screen so you can see because it's going behind my head. Thank you, J Man. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm gonna make a poster of this one too. What is up, Katie? Good to see you this morning. Welcome. All right, I am gonna take my little layer here, and man, my voice is cracking on me this morning. I am going to rasterize it because right now it's an image object. Now it's rasterized. Now I'm going to set it as my reference. And normally I lock it right now, but I saw a couple of places with a couple of odd things. So, like, I'm going to drop that color in there. Um, I'm just going to look around and see if I see any weird things that were separated oddly, that I might need to change. Oh, okay, like that's all the same color, and this needs to be the same color as that. That needs to be the same color as that. Um, oh man, Yellow Falcon looks kind of neat, sort of. I should have thought of that. That's a cool way of doing it. Okay, she did separate colors. Uh, Panthro looks weird as a naked dude. Let's see. Anything else jumps out? All right. That looks pretty good. I think we can work from it with it from here. So now I'm going to lock layer so I don't accidentally mess it up and change it. Above it, I have just a regular color layer so I can start painting in there. And then I have a purple layer marked as purple so I know that's my multiply layer, and a yellow layer so that I know that it's marked as my screen layer. And not for nothing, going back and recoloring T Man and Hyperstrike has really pointed out to me how important marking these layers with color has become to me, because like trying to find the layer in a sea of layers that says multiply on it or says screen in little bitty writing when everything is in little bitty writing has been really tough. Color coding those layers like that so I know, boom, purple, that's my multiply. Boom, yellow, that's my screen. Boom, black, that's my ink layers. Trying to find a layer that my inks are on when there's 100 different layers, which is another mistake I used to make. I used to do almost everything on a separate layer, and now I don't do that. Now I put all of like one thing on a layer. I might do backgrounds on one layer so I can draw the whole background like behind me, and then I might draw me on a separate layer. So if I need to use this background again, I have all of that stuff without me in it, and then I could just draw me here or over here or over there, and it all works. But I still have that background, especially if it's something that I'm going to use repeatedly. Like if I was using this shot from my webcam on my podcast, this would absolutely be a background that I would use 100 times over. So it's worth drawing all that out. So I might do that on a separate layer, but all of the main characters are going to be on one layer. All of the backgrounds are going to be on one layer, and it makes it so much easier to find stuff. And the color coding works amazingly. Um, let's see. J Man says you and Mike going to be playing tug of war with my wallet. Oh, yep, yep. Sorry about that. Black Vulcan and Apache Chief. Yep, two of the probably most racist characters. Oh, and Samurai's in there too, next to Apache Chief. So yeah, I got like all the most obnoxious characters that they did, but I loved them as a kid. They were my favorites, and I didn't realize that they were racially insensitive at the time. So what are you gonna do? Um, man, I'm actually kind of really digging those colors for uh, um, Ultraman. Let's see, reference layer set. I'm gonna click on the red for that, and boom, I've got all of his red selected. I'm gonna come down to my color palette, and I'm gonna pick my standard red I usually start with and see how that looks. It might be a little saturated for Ultraman. Let's brighten it up a little bit. And let's see, we're going to grab his grays. And, it's not bad, really. I'm going to try this one, see how it looks. It's a little dark, maybe, but I'm going to highlight it and stuff. So that's one of the things that I'm also thinking about is I need to set it in a place where I have room to add highlights and shadows. All right. Now let's pull up the reference here for El Voltron. So, because I cannot remember off the top of my head what all of his color scheme is. Call me a bad nerd, but I don't care. J Man says, I always found funny with Samurai. It wasn't dressed like a samurai at all. Yeah. Other than the little top knot and being Japanese, yeah, he's not really he's half naked. He's not dressed like a samurai. But go figure. What are you gonna do? It probably had some shred of basis. Like, oh, I didn't have the little addition thing set. So I was just selecting one color at a time because I keep working from two different computers. And so that kept changing and I didn't realize it. I keep thinking I have it set on this computer the way I have it set on my other computer, and I don't necessarily. All right, I'm going to select all of those grays and make them all the same gray. For now. Good morning, Sarah. Glad you could be here. Good to have you. Oh yeah, I absolutely remember him. I did not remember his name, but I remembered the Hawaiian sidekick. Absolutely. Oops. Oh, that's for the show I'm going to be on tonight. Okay, that's fine. That's not Kyron dinging me, telling me that my audio screwed up or something. Which usually when my dinger goes off in the middle of the show, it's usually Kyron dinging me. Sarah says it's effing cold this morning. Sarah also lives in the effing north. Though I gotta admit, it's freaking cold down here. It ain't effing cold, but it's freaking cold. I tell you that much. I tell you that much right now. It's cold down here for a southern boy anyway. Oh, I already had a selection why. Won't let me make another selection if there's a selection set. Crazy little computer. Why you gotta be so crazy? Let's see. Sarah says, come on now, where you at? Show. There we go. Sarah says, oh, J Man says Sarah lives more north than me. She's in the state above me. Absolutely. Sarah says, I hate it when my dinger goes off during the show. Absolutely. Don't. It's just embarrassing. There's nothing more embarrassing than having your dinger go off in the middle of the show. Everybody's around to hear it. It's just embarrassing. That's why I'm always torn between just turning off Facebook so that can't happen, but then invariably something weird's going to happen, and I'm going to wish like Kyron had been there to warn me that hey, this something's crazy, or like one time my music was like really super loud. And it's a little dark, but I know I'm going to be adding highlights, so trying to keep that in mind as I'm coloring it. BJ says it's like 56 here in the Pacific Northwest. Ugh, you can have it. Though I would like to see the trees and stuff up there. I gotta admit, it's supposed to get to upper 50s here today, though, so it'll be balmy later. You doing anything for FS Con this weekend? I was hoping to. I actually was really hoping to be there. I was planning on being there, but I did not realize, like, I didn't realize at the time when he scheduled it, like 8 months ago, that it was the same weekend as my daughter's 18th birthday. So she didn't want to go to Ohio for her birthday. Go figure. She wanted to stay here and hang out with her con friends. So we're staying here so that we can uh, take her to dinner and do all that familial stuff. But I'm down to help out. I want to help out with FSCon. Like I said, I was planning on being there, but I haven't heard from Mike about me being scheduled to do anything. So he may have his hands full with what's already planned. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. So they've got so much going on that he may just not have the extra space to add something else in right now, and it's a shame, but I would understand because they are really taking it up a notch, which is part of why I was looking forward to being there. But you can only do so much. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Indeed, that was my response too. But daughters come first. You were one. What's the coldest it's ever gotten in Arkansas. Arkansas. I don't know. Down in Arkansas, it gets into the negatives sometimes. Like anymore, we get ice maybe every other year now. Like when I was little, we used to get more snow. When my grandma was a kid, she remembered having to tie a rope between the house and the outhouse so that they didn't get lost in the snow, like in a book I read in uh, junior high. And I was talking about that, and she's like, "Well, yeah, we used to have to do that." And like it never snowed like that when I grew up in Arkansas. But she's a lot older than me, and global warming. But now we just get ice. Like unless you're up north in Arkansas, like Fayetteville and stuff, gets more snow more often. I'm gonna be one of those online MCs, so I'll be virtually there all weekend. Awesome. That is awesome. Are you in Arkansas or Tennessee? Tennessee. I'm in Arkansas. I am in Valonia, Arkansas, as a matter of fact, which is just outside of Conway, which is just north of Little Rock, which is the only place most people know in Arkansas. So I'm like Central Arkansas, though I do spend like I go to Memphis and stuff a lot because it's like 3 hours away. Like that's why I was at the Memphis Con. Um, you're the only 10 I see, but yay! Extra points for a crappy dad joke for PJ. Oh man, that was that. Oh, fucking goosebumps, dude. I love a bad dad joke. Oh man. Oh, but goosebumps are a bitch with Tourette's. Man, they hurt. All right, we're gonna grab those little suckers and we're gonna turn them the same gray. I always sit here chit chatting with everybody and not getting work done. J Man said that was playing all along. Keep the fish man from getting any work done. So I can't get that Kickstarter going. So J Man won't be out any cash for it. That's his plan. It's sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky J Man. That's what they say on the street. Yeah. Always up to something, J Man. Crafty. Let's see. I'm just gonna throw a color on that. Just I don't know what needs to go there, but it needed to be something. All right, let me pull my reference back up so I can see. All right. And whoop, she put the wrong color line there. Crazy girl. Whatever were you thinking? Well, you know what Sarah says. That's what you get for letting a girl color your Voltron. I said, Sarah, that's sexist. He said, I said what I said. I've learned not to argue with her. Oh, goodness. Gotta say. And of course, this is a crazy, massive sized with the time lapse and everything saved. Because, gotta be extra. All right, let me make sure that there's not another leg poking through anywhere between everything. That's Apache Chief. That's Apache Chief. All right. So, okay, we got that colored. Uh, must have been a different set. Yeah, that's a Sarah for you. Always throwing other Sarahs under the bus. That's what they do. Gotta be careful. Gotta keep your eye on 'em. Alright, I'm gonna go a little lighter, but very close to the same for this part. All right. There we go. Just a scooch darker for that. And that. Yeah, I'm trying a few different things this time on this Kickstarter and going to see how it goes. I have been a little nervous about it, but I figure we'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous about doing 3 books at the same time, one Kickstarter, but I'm going to do them all as individual tiers as well. So nobody's stuck having to get everything if they don't want to get everything. And but it'll be available to anybody that does want to get it. There'll be a tier for that should they want it. And we'll see how it goes. Worst case scenario, it fails, and I go broke and I starve and die. And then Sarah will say, I finally learned my lesson. Says, that was my hubris. That was my fish hubris. I swam too close to the sun, Sarah said. I said, that doesn't make any sense. She said, shut up and learn your place, boy. I said, yes, ma'am. From that point on, I did what Sarah told me. I'm just in a goofy mood today. I have not been getting a lot of sleep, which might be kind of obvious if I get really, really weird. But sleep's already an elusive mistress for me, and then you throw in all the Kickstarter nonsense, and yeah, it has been a lot of long nights. But then I, wake up and realize I got all kinds of crazy stuff done. Oh goodness, all kinds of messages I didn't see. Everything in this sketch are a lot of fish and eyes conversations. Oh, absolutely. The Sarah without the H, PJ says. Typical. The dogs wanted to go out as soon as fish started streaming. I'm so confused. Our clocks went back last weekend, so it's an hour earlier than usual. I apologize. Our clocks are fixing to change again. So, we'll sync back up again. I love it when they go back. Not a fan of when they go forward. Man, don't even get me started. Ugh. It's just a ploy of the man to keep us down. Almost as far down as my page is on the screen. Almost. Almost. Whoa, that's way too dark. Where are you going with that, fishy? Who do you think you are? Out there going that dark. A little bit darker. And we're going to go back a little lighter for up in here, and here, and here, and over yonder. And let me see. And then we're going to get the little darker gray and throw it in the armpit because you got to have a little dark gray in the armpits. That's what the Sarahs and the Katies of the world are looking for, a little dark gray in the armpits. Keeps things interesting, they said. I don't want to know. All right, that's not bad. I mean, that's getting there. All right. I say we call it done. There we go. That's good enough. That's good enough for the fans are going to be backing it. Don't you think? Yeah, they're going to love that. They're going to say, oh, that's great. When my greatest American hero is all kinds of crazy colors. That's what J Man said. It's best when they look goofy. He said, screen accurate, screen schmaccurate, he said. Ain't got time for accuracy, he said. Oh, yeah, I forgot he had the little covers. Booty covers. What is up, Kyron? Glad you could make it. Just not the same without Kyron here. It's all quiet and civil like. Nobody to stir up the troubles. How are we going to have some if don't nobody start none? That's what Kyron says. And if there's one thing I know, it's always listen to your betters. That should be a big fat translucent spot. That's what that should be. Karen says I had my butler drop my mom off at her doctor's appointment today. That way I can watch the day school fish. Good job. Good on you, Jeeves. Take good care of Mama Karen there, because, we need her to come back in the one piece. Mother Karen. That's what I'm going to call your mom if I ever meet her. I think that's funny as all get, and I don't know why. My mom would have cackled if you'd called her Mother Fish. She would have thought that'd be hilarious. She must have thought that it was quite a joke, because it got a lot of laughs from lots of folks. Seems I've had to fight my whole life through. Some gal'd snicker and I'd get red. Some guy'd laugh and I'd cut fish into his forehead. Tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Fish. What color is his cape? Is it black? I know for a fact I don't know what layer it's on. You know what? It's just going to be easier for me to look it up than to sit there going through all those layers. And I'm all about not wasting time when I don't want to waste time. But when I want to waste time. I am an expert at the wasting of the times. I can waste time like ain't nobody ever wasted time when I want to. And trust me, I often want to. All right, yep, black with red trim. That's what his cape is. All right, let's zoom back up in here so we can see what we're doing. This is all Kyron wants to do is zoom. Well, and a boom boom. And, perhaps shake your own. I'll tell you what I learned recently is if you want to communicate with a Kyron, you damn sure don't want to send it via messenger. Because I can tell you this for true. He ain't going to see it. Or if he sees it, he sure ain't going to respond to it. And he'll send you the funny videos via the TikToks and the whatnots, but he ain't going to respond on the messenger no more. Kyron said the rich have all migrated away from the Facebooks. He says for him, it's LinkedIn or nothing now. Yeah, I messaged you many a thing, Mr. Kyron, Mr. Run. I sent you all kinds of pages for that Alice in Wonderland story I was working on. It's finished without your editorial input, I might add. Wait, I say, there's the problem. Because you shouldn't have gotten one notification. You should have got about 15 notifications. I was just like, well, I guess Kyron's too busy for the likes of me these days. He's done moved up to a higher class of friends, you Danny J. Quicks and so forth. Says he ain't got time for this. Not even the great big little guys like me. Because for a little guy, they don't get much bigger. Kyron says he doesn't have time for that kind of nonsense. Oh no, not him. Look at what's happening to me. I can't believe myself. That would be Facebook Messenger, my good man. See, Facebook is it's that little app that is owned by your neighbor. What's his name? Bill Gates? No, that's not it. The one that the lizard man has the plastic face to cover up his lizard face. Zuckerberg. That's it. Yeah, it's on the messenger there. Sarah says those Alice pages look amazing. You are missing out, Kyron. Missing out indeed. Uh, Katie says it's all those high flying parties he's involved with the other 1%ers. Yeah, that's it. You mean to tell me they're not sitting in your messenger right now? Because let me look. Kyron Silva, you sent us a photo 19 hours ago. Yep, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts since we last parlayed via the messenger. That's a problem because they're sitting there on my end, so that is a problem. I bet she probably had your butler block me for sending you all the booby pictures that are in Alice because she has the bosoms. She does indeed have the bosoms. And what bothers me most is not that she has the bosoms, because I'm a fan of bosoms. I'm actually quite a fan, enthusiast, if you will. Big supporter, married a woman with them, as a matter of fact. But it's inconsistency bosoms that bothers me, because her bosoms in the book are different than her bosoms in the sexy cover that I did. And I'll show you again, since Kyron's here, since our betters are actually in the building paying attention for once and not ignoring us and the Facebook messengers, if you will. I'm gonna open up the two different covers and I will show you my problem with them about what bothers me. Okay. This is the way she is in the book. I mean, she has a bosom, she's a beautiful young lady, but she's also has a relatively slim build. Like, she's a hunter and a bounty hunter. Like, she's not a porn star. And then there's this one. And that's not the same woman. And that bothers me. Like, this is very clearly not the same lady as this one. And I know exactly what my problem is. Go from bosoms to my bald head. Same shape, different impact. The problem is I never use reference photos hardly for drawing people. And for once, because I don't draw a lot of cheesecake stuff, I wanted to use references so that I got it to look good. And mainly I was going for the shading and the highlights. I wanted that to do good because like I said, I don't usually paint cheesecake stuff, so I don't usually worry that much about it looking realistic. But so this time for once, I looked for reference pictures, which made me very uncomfortable. And so looking at reference pictures, she ended up coming out looking more like a porn star than she did a bounty hunter. But try and find pictures of a working bounty hunter showing off underboob. It's harder to find than you would think. I mean, there's a few pictures of dog to bounty hunter, but that's not the kind of bosoms we were going for. Let's see. Karen says, booby pictures. I want those. Well, you need to fix your messengers. What I'm saying. The bosoms are different in every cover of Heart Eater. Everyone drew them a different size. Yeah, but like being different artists, okay, that's fine. Like if Katie drew this and gave her A cups, and Sarah drew her and gave her Triple H cups. Okay, different artists did different things. I'm the same dude. Guy says dog has the kind of underboobs he's after. But like once you get into the 1%, like your tastes start getting really weird. You know, it's the sex dungeon parties that do it. It skews your whole line of thinking. You know, that's why I stay poor. It's the only reason I decided to stay poor. So I'm happy with my wife and don't have to go looking for the crazy whatnots and all. You know, that's the only reason I decided to stay poor. But yeah, that's going to be one of the covers for that's going to be one of the covers of Fishtails, the new anthology that is going to be in my Kickstarter launching very soon, as soon as I can get these covers finished. And that is going to be one of the exclusive covers, cheesecake cover, because not going to leave money on the table because, that would be foolish. And then this is going to be one of the exclusive KAAW variant covers, which is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's a round cover and then there's no ad on the back, which saves me money. And let's see. What's the name of the guy on the right? I'm guessing you're not talking about this one. I'm guessing you're talking about this one here. I'm going to assume this is Alice of Alice in Wonderland fame, who has been lost in Wonderland, an interdimensional rift between worlds and timelines where all these different worlds are crashing into each other. She's been lost in here so long that that shirt actually fit her when she got here. And this is her partner slash guardian, Big Ten, who is the Tin Man. He's a clockwork automaton that has been wandering around here for centuries. And from back in the days of Da Vinci, and he's here. He's her partner slash guardian, protector for a long time since she was pretty little, and that's him in the background there again. If that's what we're talking about, let's see. Sarah says, "Ooh, that one is pretty." Don't know which one. Let's see. And Kyron says, "And what does his underboobs look like?" A lot like a potbelly stove, actually. Um, I mean, like he's showing them. I'll even zoom in on his to make me go. There you go, right there. That's a little crease under his bosom plate right there. Yeah, got to get his bosoms as well. Um, he kind of looks like the droid from Rogue One, but with a mustache, which makes him cooler. Oh my god, I love the mustache, and the glasses are my absolute favorite bit of the whole thing. The more painterly one is very pretty. I want that one. Well, it'll be available on the Kickstarter launching as soon as I can finish setting it up, which, I'm hoping to be in the next couple of days. As fast as I go, who knows? It might be next year. I'll be hoping it's the next couple of days because I need to run it. Be right back. Got to say hi to Sean before he does his surgery. Oh my goodness, what's he going to surgery for? I didn't even know nothing about this. I'm all out of the loop just because I don't live on the coast with the liberal elites. They leave me out of their day-to-day functions. What do you know? Speaking of which, though, I want to pull something up. Let me see. Open. Let's see if I can get to it from here. This. Okay, my about this is it's kind of hard to see here, but he's got this long sniper rifle that has all these lenses on it so that he can amplify the vision and stuff so that he can snipe things from a great distance and everything. And he's got his glasses and everything on. He doesn't have any eyes. And I absolutely freaking love this so much. Like, the only reason he had the mustache attached to his face and has the glasses is so that he can blend in and not look like an automaton. And he's absolutely convinced that it works and that nobody can tell. And is completely shocked if anybody would recognize that he was not human walking around. Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, I nominated your painted KAAW cover for my favorite indie cover in 2023. Thank you, man. All right. I'm just gonna tell you, thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Even if you're nominating it for your own awards, that means a lot to me because that is officially the first time I have ever been entered in any award for my comic work. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. I forget just about everything that happens to me, which is the glory of brain damage. Heat stroke. Only the most random stuff sticks. I'm gonna remember that Kyron was the first one to nominate me for something, and that it was that painted KAAW cover. I'm going to remember that one. And most likely, 50-50. But there's a better chance I'm going to remember that than I'm going to remember anything else that happened today. So thank you very much, man. I do appreciate that. That means a lot. It means a lot to be appreciated by the people you respect in your business that, do the kind of work that you respect, like that means a lot. Like the people I went to high school with nominating me as the best artist out of our class of people that had no other artists in it doesn't feel as good as being appreciated by a fellow artist. So I appreciate that. I need to get my finger out and try to finish that comic. I need to get my finger out. I don't know where you got it stuck, and I don't need to know. But as soon as you get it free, give it a finish. We'll stick it on the Kickstarter too as an exclusive. I got Lee Gaston working on a cover for me for Alice as well because I wasn't sure if I was going to get another one made, but I got that cheesecake one done yesterday. And anyway, it's coming along. But you know what I'm not doing? I'm not finishing the cover that I'm supposed to be working on right now. So I'm going to go back to that. Have you not heard that one before? No, I have never heard I need to get my finger out. Oh my God. The things that popped into my head. Um, nope, never heard that one before. I'm guessing that's a purely across the pond thing. Because yeah, I've never heard that one before. I mean, I've watched a lot of BBC, so I mean, like it's not that like I just don't know any of the slang from across the pond. Because honestly, I get more looks at the things I say because I'm quoting things because things from like Doctor Who have worked their way into my everyday lexicon than anything else. Honestly, that was probably really close to what the cartoon was. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I have the Spidey and His Amazing Friends theme song on my playlist that I listen to while I'm working. So I hear this song all the time, which is why it's stuck in my head now. Katie says she just looked it up. Apparently, it is an Australian slang term that the British Army picked up and brought back with them. So the Australians are sitting around with their fingers stuck in wombats and koala and whatnot. And British Army is like, you know what? That's funny right there. We're going to bring that home. Cheerio, pip pip, and whatnot. Oh my God. The first joke that I ever thought up on my own that I was so extremely proud of because as I said, I watched a lot of British shows as a kid, especially as a little dude, really. Like, kind of odd how many shows I watched as a kid. Anyway, I watched a lot of it, and I watched a lot of things, like Mary Poppins with, really bad Cockney accents and whatnot, and thinking that that was absolutely the way British people talked, and like old black and white Tarzan adventures and stuff that like I thought was, this hackneyed performance of a British explorer was absolutely the way people talked in England. So as a kid, I came up with a little bit of what was it? Cheerio, Frosted Flakes, and Fruit Loops, thinking that that was just the funniest damn thing in the world. And I would say that all the freaking time, thinking that I was just, man, I was the funniest hot young comedian on the scene. But like that's one of the first gags I can think of that I actually like thought of myself and not just ripped off of some comedian my friends had never heard of and pretended like I made it up, but like, actually came up with myself. And yeah, that was it. And I was super proud of that. And it's super lame. But, I was a kid. What are you going to do? It's probably part of the reason that I'm a comic book artist and not a stand up comedian. That and the lifespan. Fat comedians don't make it very long. And I had grandbabies to see. I mean, not at the time, but I knew they were coming one day. Quote, pull your finger out is RAF slang and refers to a lack of activity when something needs doing. Its origin was the accusation that the person was sitting around with their fingers up theirs. All right, that's exactly what I thought. All right, I'm glad to see I wasn't that far off. Which, come to think of it though, like we do have, and I use it quite often, we do have pull your thumb out your ass, which was exactly what made me think of that when you said that. So, like, yeah, that's pretty much same thing. Because I say that to my kids a lot. Pull your thumb out your ass, get to work. I love a good. That's what. Oh man, all the jokes I can think of now are not things I want the AI clipping into. Shorts. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Yeah, I kept trying to pay my kids to, to edit my videos down to clips for me for uh talk and Facebook and whatnot, because we get into some pretty funny stuff here, and I think it would be fun to show that to other people and get more people in on the joke and more people watching the show. And we give out some like legitimately really helpful tips on the show. So, like several different reasons that would be good to have more people join in and watch. But I can't get my kids to be willing to do that just for money. They just don't care enough. They don't. They're kids. They want to do kid things, which is fine. They're kids. This is not their job. It's my job. Um, but I found this Opus Clip AI that was advertised to me on TikTok all the time, and it does a pretty nifty job of cutting down these long form videos into cool clips and picking out cool little bits of story, and it'll pick out what it thinks is a cool bit of story, but it gives me the room to be able to edit it and include different parts that it might not have added that make it better. So I can take their rough cuts and manipulate that, but it does like the captions and stuff for me. It saves me a lot of time in editing it down because I just don't have time to do both of that. And so that was pretty cool. Katie asks from across the globe, did you on the show? Actually, he did. And his girlfriend liked him being on the show. It was a lot of fun. She enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. He talked about definitely wanting to come back on again. And I'd like to have him come back on because, like he's actually using the software, like many of us, he's actually doing this and using it and coming up with problems that he just doesn't know how to do because he just hasn't done it yet. Or a lot like me, when he's working on stuff, he's working on stuff and needs to get it done in a reasonable time frame and get it out to for his commission or whatever, and doesn't really have time to screw around and learn new stuff right then when he's supposed to be getting it done. And I totally understand what that's like because I'm in that spot all the time. And so, anyway, what I'm saying is it's good to have somebody on the show with me that has legit questions that they're curious how to do this, how to fix this, whatnot. I'm just going to turn all these on. Okay, that was too much. Don't need that one anymore. And none of them are Apache Chief. Of course not, because that would have been easy. That would have been what I needed. If there's one thing we know about old Uncle Fish, he don't like doing things the easy way. Sir, it is the hard way or the no way. For old, I can't remember what color his stuff is. I think it's green. Old for now. And I'm going to go back and look that up in a minute. But yeah, Bear absolutely liked being on the show, and I'm absolutely going to have him back on. How did y'all like the show compared to the other shows? Like, was that interesting for y'all? At least he wasn't unbearable to have on. I appreciate that, Kyron. Thank you. I needed a good dad joke right there. I tell you what. No, don't like that. Don't like that at all. Oh, absolutely, man. Love to. He's really good. I'm really impressed with. It. I can't wait. I was hoping. I was okay. I'm gonna take this off for a second. I was really hoping that the short story that he's doing for Green Zone was going to be done in time because I wanted to put it in Fishtails instead of the Alice story, but he's still working on it, and so I want to give him time to finish it. His short story will be in the Green Zone trade, which will be with the next issue of Green Zone, because that'll round out the first arc of their first shift being over. And I want to show a little bit more about what that world's like and what's going on out there. Um, there is uh, there is a very short Alpha Files short in Fishtails that shows an actual like file on Alpha of the. I don't want to give too much away for the people that haven't watched it, but they haven't read the books yet. But for the character that causes the incident at the police station. Let's say that for those that haven't read it. For the person that causes the incident at the police station, there's a short file in there with some security footage of another event that happened with them elsewhere, showing more of the world of Green Zone. And it's actually a story that I did in my sketchbook a long time ago. And so bringing that to life was actually pretty fun. I liked the way it came out. I liked the vibe of it, and I liked doing a story that was different. Um, just spoil everything, Kyron says. I'm sure we've all read it. Oh, I'm sure you've all bought it. I'm not sure you've all because if you're anything like me, you've got stacks and stacks of books just laying everywhere that you bought, but you didn't necessarily read. Like, you know, there's a handful of stuff that's on my absolute must read, like when I get it. Like Saw the Lightning Wielder, Spider Squirrel, Apex Cybernetic Samurai Owl, um, The Surgeon. There's a handful of things that are absolutely on my must read pile. Like you get it and you read it right away. Um, Roland's Scarlet Ranger. Um, see, see right there. No spoilers. I probably haven't read it yet. Says there. And like we've done shows about these books, and I don't feel a bit bad about it because like when you're involved with Kickstarter and involved with as many creators as we are and stuff, like just backing your friends' books to be supportive will have so many books coming in the mail that it's hard to read. It's hard to keep up with. Read a book every day when I go to the bath. If I spent that much time reading in the bathroom, I wouldn't be getting this many books made. I'm really bad for backing stuff and then forgetting to read them. I see J Man, who was here in the beginning. He gets he gets very upset when he's backed something and it doesn't show up, which is not uncommon, unfortunately, among Kickstarters. There's a whole lot of people with big ideas and big dreams that don't necessarily have the organizational skills necessary to pull it off. It happens. I don't fault them. Part of this is learning whether or not you're good at this. Um, it's the people that refuse to learn that they're not good at it and keep doing it and keep not sending stuff out that bothers me because that gives us all a bad reputation. But um, unlike him, I just back stuff and then I forget about it. If I get the book, it's an absolute surprise and it's a happy surprise. But like I go into it kind of not expecting to get them. So it doesn't hurt my like it's part of the reason that I back a whole lot of things at the digital level is like if I don't know this creator and I don't know if they really get stuff out, I would rather be out 5 or 10 bucks than be out 20 or 30 bucks. Sarah says, I mean, I totally know the gist of things, but things just get away from me. I always want to read my friends' books. Absolutely. Um, I do too. Like, but I will admit, um, the last issue of Ace Blade, like I opened it the day I got it and I flipped through it and I was like, oh man, this looks cool. And I set it down beside my chair to read it like that night when I got done working. But I didn't get done working that night until I went to bed or the night after or the night after. And now it's at the bottom of a stack of books. Like I've flipped through it a couple of times, but I have not sat down and read every word of it. And I feel bad about that. Did I back the new book? Absolutely. First day. Still haven't read the last one all the way. Books usually take 7 to 10 minutes to read. That's not too bad to do on the toilet, says Kyron. You know how many books I could finish in 10 it's easy to fail to read my friends' books because we talk about them so much that I just feel like I exactly. That's the other thing. Like I see Danny talking about Ace Blade all the time. So I think I've read it all and I read everything up to that. and I just kind of forget sometimes that I haven't sat down to read that. Um, of course, you're going to rat me out. Of course, you are. See, that's the problem with having 1% on here. They know they're better than you, and they're going to rub your nose. All right. Well, that just means that I have to get it read by Saturday, which is actually a big ask because I got a lot of stuff to get done by Saturday. And I got another show I'm going to be on tonight, and which is the other problem. Like, I totally did not think this Kickstarter through a whole lot, and so I didn't do a big run up or anything advertising it. I'm just like, I realized, oh crap, I'm at the end of the year. I was planning on getting this other Kickstarter out, and now it's here, and I didn't set it up yet, and so it's kind of a last minute thing. So anybody that wants to share it and get the word out there, I highly appreciate it. Like Kyron did. I appreciate that. Let's see. Does Danny just spoil so much you don't need to read? That's not too far off, admittedly. Yes, Katie. Yes, he does. Yeah, Danny's not keeping a whole lot of secrets. I trying to keep a little bit, because like the cliffhangers in Green Zone have always been kind of sort of out of left field, sort of like, oh my God, this has happened. The end of the third issue, like you can see it coming throughout the book, but like I've really enjoyed the cliffhangers so far, and I've enjoyed like kind of keeping them a little bit secret so people could be surprised by them. Um, Fun fact about Ace Blade: in 6 issues, he only uses his blades 3 times. That's the thing, though. Like, unless you're going to be, a choppy vigilante, unless you're going to be like the Punisher, swords are a tough bit to use and not cause like permanent damage. Like it. How many times did Leonardo use his swords in the original Ninja Turtles cartoon? Like only on inanimate things, only to like cut chains or cut a machine or something, but never on anybody. Um, that's kind of a pain. Like KAAW doesn't even have his hands free yet in issue 1 and uses a blade to disembowel a dude. Like you see it in KAAW, which is one of the things I like about doing KAAW. I'm like, yeah. And that's part of the way my OCD brain works as well. Like if you have it, you're going to use it the way you would use it. And like, bad guys having machine guns, but only hitting the ground in front of you. No, no, that's just not going to work. Or like you dive into the bathroom and shut the door behind you, and the bad guys riddle the wall waist high with bullets so that you can hide on the floor. Everybody knows where you're going to be hiding in that bathroom. Everybody knows where you're going to be hiding. So they're going to shoot the floor. Like, or when people dive behind a freaking drywall wall in a house to hide from being shot at, you can shoot right through the drywall like it's not there. Maybe the 2x4 is going to deflect a bullet, but your chance of hitting a 2x4 is a lot smaller than your chance of hitting a person on the other side of that wall hiding. Like, those things bother me. But at least Leo actually pulls his swords to threaten people with it. Ace Blade just goes around punching people most of the time. Well, I'm going to tell Danny this week on the show that you're making fun of Ace Blade using his swords. Oh, it was so funny to me to hear him have to admit in a TikTok the other day about the blades on the back of Ace Blade's arms. And they're on every freaking cover. They're on the variant cover I did because they're on all the artwork that he sent me, and he doesn't have them in the books yet. And he's going to get them, but he hasn't got them yet and won't get them for a while. But they're on every freaking cover. And to me, that's funny. Like, it would be like putting Alice's broken sword in her hand, but she doesn't have it in the book. Like, that broken sword is going to be a very important part of the story, and it's going to matter a lot in the story. It's part of a story I've been working on for 20 years, so that broken sword's important. But her not having it would be ridiculous, unless she was like way younger point in her life. But anyway. Hiding in my house would be okay, as it's got stone walls a couple of feet thick. Now, see, that'll do it right there. Now, see, that's one thing. The Scots are thinking it through. You know, them Brits come in with their rifles. I'm hiding behind that stone wall. I'll tell you what. I'm here to tell you. That's the way to do it. See, Katie's thinking through the end times. Katie's thinking through her life in the mafia. You know, you got to plan for this stuff. If you don't plan to succeed, you're planning to fail. That's what Katie has been telling me for years, and I appreciate that. It's one of the reasons I like having her on my team. I'm not getting crap done on this book because we just sitting here chit chatting, having a big old time, but not getting nothing done. Um, but yeah, uh, this sword that I was talking about is actually a big deal in the story, and it allows her it allows her to cut portals in space time that allow her to get from one point to another within Wonderland. Um, she could go other places besides just this rift in Wonderland. It's harder to get other places than it is here, but she could do it. If she had the whole sword, she could go wherever she wants to go, no problem. But she could get out if she wants to, but her chances of finding like her home world are almost impossible now. Um, Katie says, I think it's mostly just because our weather is awful. You got some pretty awful weather if you got to build stone walls in your house to keep from getting shot at. Like, we get rain, we get tornadoes, but I ain't never had a tornado pull a gat on me. So, like, respect for you surviving y'all's weather down there. My walls are created with the bodies of dead giants. Chiron, that is offensive to giants. I'm going to not take that personally. I'm trying to work on our Kickstarter campaign while listening here and also getting nothing done. Yeah, absolutely. And I need to be working on my Kickstarter campaign. Uh I need to get this cover finished for it, but like the setting up all the tiers just drives my OCD up the wall and stresses me out to a point that you just would not believe. Like, it is not as big a deal as my OCD makes it. And it makes it such a terrifying, intimidating thing to have to do that I would literally rather do just about anything than do that. I would electively go to the dentist with a smile on my face and sit down in the chair and get my teeth worked on long before I would choose to set up a Kickstarter. Like, it just stresses me out. And it shouldn't stress me out that bad, but it's just one of those things it does. It just hits my OCD just right. Tornadoes can throw shit almost as hard as a gun can sometimes. You got that right. You got that right. We had a storm with 120-mile-per-hour gusts for a few hours a few years ago, but that was an exceptionally bad one. We regularly get storms with 80-mile-per-hour gusts, though. I'm here to tell you what. Ooh, you fire a 9 millimeter at 80 miles per hour. Good gracious. I don't know how much longer I can carry the joke about storms shooting at you, but I'm nothing if not somebody that'll run a joke into the ground. But anyway, yeah. So this sword is going to be an important part of the story, and it's I've actually decided to mash together several different stories that I've been working on for, like, one of them I've been literally working on for 20 years, uh, which is a story about the guy that she got this sword from. And then I've had this story about Alice rummaging around in my head for a while. And I've had this story about a clockwork automaton that, like, was created in the days of Leonardo da Vinci, maybe by da Vinci, maybe not. I haven't decided. And has just been living through time all this time. And so you keep seeing him at different points in history, and uh, seeing how he evolves and doesn't evolve and changes and doesn't change over the centuries. And I thought it would be a really interesting story. And and then as I was thinking about it and looking, like, getting really kind of introspective after the last con, and looking at, like, what's selling and what's not selling and what's succeeding that I'm working on, and what am I investing my time and energy in that's paying off, and what am I investing my time and energy in that's not paying off, and starting to really look at things with a more objective lens than just a, well, this is fun or this is what I want to do, but more like what's going to sell kind of idea. And thinking about the stories that I wanted to tell, but, how hard is that going to be to sell? How hard is that going to be to convince people to pick it up and look at it? And then I realized, like, combining some of those stories together would make for a really interesting story and make for something that would be an easy sell. And I want to get it into people's hands so they'll read it. If having her underboob showing gets you to pick up the book and read the cool story, cool. That's fine. If having a sexy cover gets you to buy the book and do it, if the name recognition of Alice in Wonderland gets you to pick up the book and read the cool story within it, that's going to have so much more going on than just an Alice knockoff. Uh, then okay, that I want to use that to work in my favor. Um, Katie says the 120-mile-per-hour one was flinging dagger-shaped shards of glass around a few inches off the floor as it danced a few greenhouse panes over the driveway. That was fun to pick up. Oh, I'll bet. Sarah says, I'm finding that I don't mind setting up the campaigns if everyone who has the relevant info gives it to me. It's obnoxious having to chase down covers and reward tiers and stuff, which is another part of my issue is the idiot that has to do all that work needs to finish some of those. Like, I just finished the cheesecake cover yesterday morning. Um, it's going to be so damn easy when I make the campaigns for my books because I already have all that stuff. So excited for that. I'm excited to check out your books. I can't wait to see what your books are like. Um, I am legit interested. I'm down for that. I am on board. Let me know when and where, and I will be a first day backer on that one. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here because I have now, instead of getting an hour and a half worth of work done while we chatted, I've gotten 30 minutes worth of work done and an hour's worth of chit chatting done. Which, as much as I loved it and as much as I needed that, because I've been doing nothing but working in the house alone for a couple of weeks, I appreciate the chit chat and I appreciate the hanging out. But I got to get off of here, or this Kickstarter is never going to get launched because somebody's got to finish doing some work and setting up 100 different tiers, which is another problem with launching 3 books at the same time. Is now it's not just one book, cover A, cover B, cover C, all cover tiers. Now it's this book, cover A, cover B, this book, cover A, cover B, this book, then all of the books, then all of the books with all the covers, and then it's a whole lot more things to have to juggle, and I don't like juggling the things. So, oh, absolutely, yeah, consider it done. Only probably a little late. Sorry. Um, Absolutely. happy to help out however I can. Anything I can do. You guys have been such a blessing to me. Absolutely, I will be there for you on it. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here and go eat a snack and do my back exercises, and then get back to work on finishing this stuff up so I can get this Kickstarter launch soon. So keep your eye out. www.gomrfish.com will take you to the pre-launch page where you can sign up to be notified. And if you want to give that page a share out to all of your friends, I would appreciate it, because I need to get as many eyes on it as I possibly can, because I did not do a run up on this one. So I could use the help. Thank you guys. I will see y'all later on. Peace out. Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School of Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Yeah.